2 of part 1, session 1. It's confusing. We're figuring this out, folks. But you're here. You made it. This is Breakthrough 120, part 1. I'm so excited to be back. I've been reflecting on the conversations we had yesterday, and if you missed it, do not fear. You'll get a video recap at the end of this week that'll let you catch up. We do have several sessions each week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Each week, we will be covering really, this is a foundational class. This does not mean it's a rookie class. Great for rookies. And if you have been producing for quite some time and you're not producing with the consistency or at the level that you wish to be producing with, if you cannot look into your future for the next 4 months and understand how much money that your business is going to be making, then you're in the right place. As rookies, it's really difficult for us to look into the future pipeline and understand. But also for producing agents, it can be difficult as well. So I just want to tell you, you're in the right place. This is the fundamentals. This is the foundation. We're going to look at the cadence of the training sessions here in a moment, but we're going to jump into it. This is the back end of the database section, and had a couple of really great conversations with folks that had. I invited y'all to text me, to email me, to connect with me on social media, and so many of you did, and I thank you so much for it. It's so great to see the wins that are happening, the follow through that y'all have. I've got a couple people I'll be talking about this evening even that I saw immediate action, and I just want to encourage that. And if you did not get into immediate action, it's not too late. Like, this is still session 1. You got 5 weeks to piece it all together, but do not wait. It starts today. It starts putting it into action. I'll say this really quickly. I think there's really 3 levels to building any kind of business. And there's probably 4 foundational pieces we can look at that we handle in this space. But here's the thing. There is the activity that we are committed to and that we take. There is the skills that we've collected and that we've developed and are developing. And there's the strategy that we piece together. And the way those 3 work together is how we create growth in our business. And really commonly, we look to the strategy element. We're like, well, if I just had a better way, if I just knew how, if I just had the right brand, if I had the right approach, if I have the right things to say, if I knew exactly what to do. The thing is, we all came in with a strategy of some sort. We had some idea of who we're going to serve, of what we're going to do in this business. We walked in on day 1, activating our license. Somebody told us, hey, it's simple. Go do this thing and go do it every single day. Or here's your 5-step plan. Go do these things all the time. Listen, that plan might not be great. It might not be the best. It may not be what you use long term, and yet it's a strategy you can run with. And for any of us, whether it's that you are a rookie and you're just now getting started, or if you have not yet produced at the level that you wish to, you have some kind of plan, having a better strategy is not going to do anything. We first must commit to activity. So activity that is consistent and activity that we are tracking. So we got to be aware of what activities we have. It's got to be pointed in the same direction as our strategy. So intentional activity, but then also consistent activity. So we have an intention with the things that we do, and we do them over and over and over and over again until we see some type of success with it. Because some things take a while to show up. Like we take an action and the reward is a little bit delayed. Also, sometimes we got to do things over and over again before we figure out how to do it better or how we could be doing it. So the second piece to this is skill. Skill works in 2 different ways as developing skill. So we first commit to a skill that we are going to develop, and we carry it into our activity. So you all are learning based. I'm talking to the right crowd. There are 67 of you in here that have committed to growing your skill set, your business, your life, building something bigger tonight. And that's great. The second part of developing skill is that when you put it into action, skill develops further. We can know in theory how things work, but we also got to know in practice how they work. And when you commit to doing a lot of activities, whatever skill you used for those activities, by the time you've done it 100 times, you're going to be better at it naturally. So not only have you done it enough times that your skill had finally a chance to show up, but then as you've done it a whole bunch of times, you've gotten better at doing that. So then our third level, then once we've committed to the activity and we've done it consistently and we've intentionally developed skills and used them enough that they could develop even further, then we look to proven strategy. Proven strategy now works in two different ways as well. What have we proven that we've won with that we can go and expand? Because if we're always seeking the greener grass, it probably means we're not watering our own. The grass is greener where you water it. You're standing right there. Whatever you're doing, whatever you've won with, wherever you've found success, wherever you've discovered people that are potential buyers or sellers, go do more of those things and go find more of them. So proven strategy works in this. What have I proven that it works? And then also, who runs a business that looks like mine or looks like the business that I would like to own? And they've proven something. What can I adopt? Now, I'm not going to reinvent everything that I do based on something that someone else has done because as you read the MREA and you read the playbooks and you read Rookie Real Estate Agent and you attend conferences, and as you hear from at least 4 different instructors over this series, and actually the tech classes are going to bring even more in, you're going to hear different ways to do business. Doing it all those ways that all those people say, it's not going to all work. And so you find ways that you can adopt what they've proven that might work for you as well. So I'll reiterate that one last time. And I know it's painstaking, the simplification that I bring, and I'm kind of repeating myself here, but I want you to hear me. What have you proven to be true that you can go and expand? And then what has someone else proven works that you can adapt to your own business? We only adapt and adopt a new strategy so we can go right back. The strategy dictates our activities. The activities we're involved in dictate the skills that are required. And as we apply our skills to the activities, we can see what our successes are and we can modify our strategy as we go forward. All right. It starts with activity, folks. My name is Seth Mills, by the way. I work in Dallas, Texas, part of KW Dallas Preston Road. This month, I'm just over 10 years in the business on the sales side. I started out as an appraiser many years ago. My wife's been an appraiser for 25 years. In 2012, I got my appraisal license. I realized within a couple of years that walking through vacant homes and staring at computer screens writing reports all day was not for me. And yes, I know it's ironic because we are staring at each other through a computer screen, but what attracted me to the sales side is people. I love people. I've been a sales agent since 2016. My wife and I do own and operate a real estate group together. She'll sell about 50 homes this year. She takes care of our clients so I can help agents build their business. I help agents become more productive with their time and with their efforts. So I'm a productivity coach at our office. I work with about 150 agents here, helping them launch their business and expand their opportunities to the next level. I've operated in a number of different leadership roles in Keller Williams, previous team leader, international ALC member, labs advisor, and helping KW develop their technology. And honestly, my passion is this. So much like I left appraising in the dust and I carried the skills with me, there's some other leadership roles that I've left because this is what I'm passionate about. I want to help you build a bigger life. My QR code is up there. I'd love for you to scan it. Follow me on Instagram. Like 45 of you within about 10 seconds when I asked for this yesterday chose to do that. So that'd be super cool. I took for granted I have a decent following on Facebook, and I never intentionally developed any kind of following on Instagram. And then I wanted to go do live videos on Instagram, and Instagram told me you can't unless you have 1,000 followers. I'm like, well, I got to fix that. So I'm on a mission to do that. I will tell you this, if you're building a social media presence, curated, crafted, carefully produced content, it's awesome. It's beautiful. And there is an authenticity that people want from you as well. That authenticity is going to show up in different ways for many of you. But I like to lead the way as far as being fearless with live video, because when you say something live, you can't take it back. Somebody probably saw it. You can go take the recording down later on, but there's something super authentic about it. I put my phone number and my email address out on any one of these sessions that I teach because I invite you to use it. Some of y'all did before 66. Oh, that's less than I started with earlier. Thank you for the update, Mary. So much. Getting so close. Uh, Feel free to text me, call me, shoot me an email. If I can support you in any way, if you feel stuck and you need a partner to help get you unstuck, I'd love to be that person. I may not be able to be that person long term for you, but I will be that person in the moment. It doesn't mean I don't want to be, but here's the thing. I know people in your market. I know people across this company, and you should too. So you've got a mentor, you've got somebody close to you that can help build your world. I'd love to be connected long term as well. This is such a cool organization to pass referrals back and forth with. So please, if I can help you in any way, let me know. We talked about this yesterday. What does breakthrough mean for you? And I want to return to it and love to hear from a couple of you. Take yourselves off mute. And by the way, join me on camera. Join me in the chat. You could join me by sharing your voice. I'd love to be face to face. Thank you. There's some of y'all that are jumping in right now, and Arthur and Monique and Julianne and Sarah and Eva and Mary and James and Michelle, Ray, Tanya, and Cass. Thank you so much for starting off in such a way. I am seeing a whole bunch more people join. It is such a cool environment to be in when we're face to face. I know for many of us, we can't be in the physical classroom together. Although Raytanya Hughes, I'm not sure what classroom you're in, but I'm so excited to see that you've got community built around this as well. Really cool thing. Listen, how you show up in here is how you show up everywhere. This is a practice session for how you're operating your business. And so if you're going to go work with people in your local community, what's it like if you're in a Zoom meeting with them? Do you want to be known? Well, this is a really good chance to show up and be known in this space. There are agents from all across the country in this space. Do you accept referrals? I take it for granted sometimes we don't all understand, but in case nobody told you, agents from across the country will pay you part of their commission if you send them business. We talked about this yesterday, but I generated about $40,000 from my cousin alone moving from Oregon to Oklahoma to Missouri, back to Oklahoma. And that's just one. My first year stepping into a team leader role, I got out of production and I sent a bunch of business in other places. I made like 90 grand the very first year that I was just focused on referrals. And I'd like for you to do that too. We've got agents that move from one place to another. If you're brand new to a city, that means that you came from another one. You may not be licensed in that area, in that market, or you may not be close enough. Like if you move from Sacramento to San Diego, you're probably not close enough to drive back and take care of your people back in Sacramento. So finding an agent locally, sending it off, you can still make a lot of good money there. But I'd love to hear, what does breakthrough mean to you? Why are you here? What kind of breakthrough are you looking for? Yeah, Devin, I see you, sir. Go for it. I can see you, but I can't hear you, unfortunately. I hear kind of a shuffling. It sounds like it might be a headphones issue. Yeah, Sarah says jumping straight into your business. Love it. Yeah, Devin, go for it.
All right, cool. So, what breakthrough means to me, like you said yesterday, is breaking through that ceiling that you're kind of stuck at. Because I feel as though, like, I do business, but then I go on that dry spout where nothing's happening. So, I'm trying to break through that ceiling because my business has constantly been around that. Had 1 or 2 good months. Now we dry 3 or 4 months back, doing the same thing. So I'm really trying to break through that and, produce consistently.
Man, I appreciate you sharing that. There is this cycle that many of us get in, and I've always called it the the real estate roller coaster, where we work so hard to find people to serve, and then we get so excited that we serve them at a really high level. We spend all of our time doing it, and the business all closes up. We're like, I got paychecks, and we're like, well, then where's my next one?
Right.
We forgot So we go after it again. We're like, I'm gonna work really hard to find people. And it's every day and it's open houses all the time. And I'm following up and it's great. Now I got active clients and I've got listings and now I'm working really hard. I'm working contracts and all of my focus is there and it's a high level of service. And then the deals close. I'm like, all right, what's next? Oh, that's right. So at some point you learn to stabilize
All right.
and you realize that lead generation is a lifestyle. It's an everyday kind of thing. It's an everywhere you go. We're going to talk about lead generation specifically tonight, and that is the through line for everything that we're discussing in Breakthrough to make lead generation part of your life.
Right.
I've said for a long time, I make a living making friends. And so then my mission is to go places, talk to people, build a relationship, find out about their life. And we see the natural connection points where they're about people move when they have reason to move. I just got to find the reason that they might be moving. So Devin, I love it that you shared that. Thank you so much. I think that's inspiring for many people in this room because they see themselves just like you, or they know somebody that's been in business for a while and they almost didn't get their license because they watched somebody fail over and over and over again.
Right.
Failure in real estate is like failure in business, is like failure in anything in life. It happens really gradually and then all of a sudden. And that really gradual, a lot of times it looks like success, but then it's a lot of disappointment over and over again. The way you get to that next ceiling is to realize, okay, I'm not doing that again. There's something else I want. It's what I wanted before. I got to approach this in a different way and break through that. Devin, I want to encourage you though, sir. You got everything you need to create stable income. And that's a whole lot of what breakthrough is all about. If you've produced real estate transactions in the past, you can produce them regularly.
Right.
Love it. Joe says breakthrough would mean having a system, working smarter, doubling the income. I love that. Leverage through technology, through people, through everything else. I think there are two things that really allow us to go to the next level. It's either a system or it's a model. And a lot of times we think of those things as strategy. Let me go invent a new system. No, it might be that I'm already doing the things and I just need to do them consistently, frequently, doing them systematically. So I do the same things in the same sequence. That'll take me to the next level. Or a different model that might simply be, oh, well, I'm doing transactions anyway. Can I use a transaction coordinator? They can take a bunch of stuff off my plate, and I'm going to go spend that 30 hours that I would have been shuffling paperwork and following up on things. I'm going to go find more people to be in business with instead. So it's simple things sometimes. Love it. Pamela says breakthrough means that you're seeing all the work that you've put into getting a license, training, moving you to the next level of confidence and momentum. So good. Oh, I love this. And we're going to talk about how confidence shows up and how confidence is built. I'll give you a sneak preview. Confidence is built by the evidence that we've provided for ourselves. Sometimes in practice, we can create evidence. Well, this is a difficult conversation, and I'm a little bit terrified of having it. I can have it in a practice scenario, and then I know, well, if I did it there, I could probably have it with a real life person. And then once I've done it with a real life person, well, I can do it again. Love it. Confidence and momentum. And momentum happens with consistency. Move from the tech industry to real estate.
He's already do some with somebody else, and that's what she needs to do.
Oh, I thought somebody was sharing. Sharing with somebody. It's all good. From a fear-based mindset, taking consist. Okay, so here's what I'm seeing in a lot of these. Thank you so much for what you're sharing in chat. I love it. And I see get out of your own head. Because if I can do that, I can find success, breaking through your thick skull. This is, and you laugh at yourself. And I think it's kind of we got to a little bit. We talked about fear yesterday, and fear is real. And it will always control us if we don't address it. But if we can address that fear and realize that's not us, that's a thing that's controlling us, I can see it, and then I can decide how I'm going to handle it. Do I go around it? Do I go through it? I can't ignore it, because if I ignore it, I'm carrying it with me. So we call these things limiting beliefs, but there are things that we simply accept as true until we acknowledge that they're not. For instance, my family, they weren't really homeowners. My dad owned one house. Maybe he owned two before he passed a number of years ago. My mom didn't own a home ever until after I had already purchased two. So like I didn't have anybody really showing that pathway. And for me, like if it weren't for my bride, I probably wouldn't have been inspired for real estate either. It just wasn't a part, like that was for other people. But I saw there's an opportunity. This is a normal thing and taking a different perspective on it. So I love this idea of I've got to get out my own way. A lot of times it's actually not us, but it's something somebody put on us. Clearing that out so we can break through. So good. Then I'd really like to hear this. And again, some of y'all have been thinking a little bit more deeply about specifically what does this look like? What do you want your life and business to look like a year from now? Many of us were told at a young age that desire is some type of bad thing, like it's rooted in evil, that desire is a distraction, that you should just be content and satisfied with what you have. I'm not saying that being content is a bad thing. Like finding peace in life is awesome. And if that's what I need, then peace is what I want. Peace is what I desire. And so I pursue creating that. But everything in life is about moving towards something. Our future pulls us forward. So identifying what we want and going at it at all costs, it's so rewarding. And it's so exciting to want something and to pursue it, to desire. So I so badly want for you to have a really clear picture of what you want, what you desire, the vision for what you're building so that you can be really clear about what you're moving toward and what it looks like when you get there. Because what's really unsatisfying is to not have a vision, to work really hard, to achieve a lot of great stuff, and to never be satisfied. If I never know what I'm actually pursuing, then I can move right past it. And then it's this unending cycle of, well, I got more. How do I do more? I got more. How do I do more? So what do you want? Vision, what you want, goal setting. What else? What are you pursuing? What do you want in your life? This could be a lifestyle. This could be an amount of income that you generate, number of transactions that you sell. Somebody be bold. Tell me something big. What do you want? Go for it, Mary.
I'm a single mom. I have 3 jobs. Real estate is one of them. I'd love to just have one job.
Do you want real estate to be that one job?
Yes,
Yeah. Why?
that would
What's
be
what's
great.
important about that to you?
Well, it's of the three, it's the one I can make the most money at by far. So it makes like someday retiring an actual possibility. So
Yeah.
that's a pretty big thing.
Yep.
I think it also just you spoke to this a little bit, but I'm going to speak to it a little bit more specifically. People are always when people are moving, it is always because something big has happened in their life. And that big thing is usually both a celebration and a loss because most momentous moments are. And I love being part of that process and that moment for them. And I like crave that relationship, and specifically being a part of their lives at that time.
That's so good, Mary. Okay, so what's that do for you then? If you get to be there and you build a reputation for being there for people in those moments of celebration when they're needing support also, and you know that you're on a course to retire someday, what's that do for you? Because like retirement for some people, they're like, no, I'll retire when I die. Like, and for other people are like, I can't wait so that I can do this. Because retirement on its own is like really super boring. It's what it affords us to do as well. And a lot of people I know that start pressing toward retirement in real estate, they're like, actually, this is so fun. I'm never going to retire. I'm just going to like retire myself now. And retirement for some people looks like, well, I do work, but it's because I want to do this kind of work because of what I get out of it. So, Mary, what's that do for your life, for your kids?
Well, I think it gives me a freedom to like show up for them, especially as they, will become adults and live their far-flung lives. So I think it's like, I mean, you're right. It's not really retirement that I want. It's like a financial freedom and a time freedom, that doesn't have me locked into fearing that I'm gonna not have enough health insurance or something.
Love it. Thank you. I think that's at the core of what so many of us want. The freedom of time or the freedom of finance. Money is good for the good it can do. Like money itself is neither good nor bad, but if we have access to it, we open up new choices for ourselves and for other people as well. For some people, it's the choice to not go to work or to do the kind of work that they want. For some people, it's to be able to give all kinds of stuff. Um, and for some of y'all, maybe the freedom of movement is a pretty cool thing too. And in real estate, like when we travel a lot, and when we go, like my wife wants to go travel to the beach any given time. And when we make it happen, I feel like she takes more listings sitting in the sand than she does sitting in our neighborhood. But it's such a cool thing. There's not many lines of work that you can make more money when you're away than you're at home. And it's cool. She tells the story. And so more people become aware. They're like, oh man, she's busy. She's traveling. I guess I got to reach out now because if she's only going to be home for like a week, I got to make sure that she meets with us when we're back. It's a pretty neat thing. All right. Michelle, what do you want?
I just want to be it's within the next year, full time, no longer dual career, full time in real estate. I said that yesterday, so I can get in, more rooms than I can now.
Yep.
Just being financially free, so being able to travel and have as much time with my family as possible. So that is what I really want to do.
I love it. Would you be so bold enough to share with the room what number that looks like? That looks like financial
Oh,
freedom? Like, is there a number that you need to have this much money in the bank, or that I've made this much money in the past year, or that I can see this much in the next 3 months that's going to be coming in that gives you the confidence that you can make that transition?
well, for me, to for me, roughly to make that to make that and become financially free, um, 30,000 starting. Getting that in the next couple of months, getting that 30,000, and so for me, financially free, not owing anyone. Having the I don't have to get up as early anymore, going out to the job. I'll still get up and hustle for the real estate and do that, but I won't have to be at someone's beck and call anymore. I can
Yeah,
have that freedom that I need to service more clients and service them when there's a need.
I love that. Thank you for sharing so much. Can you see a path to $30,000?
I can
Okay.
I can see that. I can see that, getting that, really, just really getting out and doing the things that I need to do to get that.
If nine buyers or sellers hired you in the next 120 days, would that produce enough income that you can make that transition?
It could, yes, yes, yes. It could help me transition. Being transparent, in October is when I can officially, I'll have 30 years on, I can just officially hang it up. But it would be nice to know that, hey, when I retire in October, I'm financially free. My database is full, and I'm able to develop more business from my database. So that would be good to know that I'm leaving and I'm transitioning full time into real estate. Yes,
Yeah.
that would be wonderful.
So good, Michelle. Well, I appreciate you sharing and kudos for being really clear what you want and what you're doing, what you're after. That's awesome. That clarity, the fact that you can see it, you know the number, you know the date, because the best goals are time bound. You got a due date in October. You got to have this figured out if you want to have that the best celebratory moment. So good. Appreciate you. And if I didn't say it, Mary, thank you for sharing as well. Jennifer,
Hey, how you doing?
hey, so
Um,
good. Welcome back.
Thank you. My husband and I are 10 years apart in age, which makes retiring difficult or planning a future difficult. It wasn't hard during the first 30 years of our marriage, and it's becoming harder as
Mm,
we're trying to figure out things. And we are best friends. We do everything together. And so for those reasons, I want in 2 years him to retire. And I would like him to work with me on the real estate, not as necessarily an agent, but we run the business and we could be in the pool and we're avid gardeners. We do 30 beds and we do jelly and we have other businesses and we can combine and it's time management. And I think with the books and this course is you don't have to rewrite the wheel necessarily, but you have to follow the tactics to get there.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking to get out of this is where I need to be and how do I get to that point. Money wise, I could probably live on 50 or 60,000 and be comfortable. My goal is 125
Good.
for our family. And so, but allow us to still make jelly, still allow us to plant and do chickens and be in the pool and do the things we want to do. But I have to have that plan in order to obtain that in 2 years.
Thank you for sharing that, Jennifer. Can I just, first off, the fact that it's all about your family, it's about what it does for you all. It's also about being able to have him involved where your best friend working side by side. That's such a beautiful thing. That's so cool. Don't be surprised if you work really hard over the next 2 years to document all of your systems, then your husband comes aboard. He's like, yeah, we're going to do things differently.
I'm the organizer usually, and we
Good.
just, I met him at work, so
Yeah.
we know how to work together.
Awesome.
So, and here's the thing, somebody else has ideas that maybe we can streamline, and
Yeah.
I'm always open to learning new things or integrating new things.
Yep.
So I'm fine with that, but I definitely need this. You guys know what you're doing. I need to follow your plan and get my own habits in lined up so I'm ready to be there.
Yeah. Well, we do business in all sorts of ways. And I'll never forget there a couple summers ago, I was actually probably 3 summers ago. I went for a swim every single day at sundown in the lap pool in our community every day, 7 days a week. Like maybe I missed a day, but I didn't miss 2 days in a row. But I was there all the time. We were really involved in the community. We sell about a third of the homes in the neighborhood. We did not at the time sell a third of the homes. We had a lot of success, but anyhow, uh, it was about like I was just going swimming. And then one day, totally randomly, I was swimming laps and it was almost annoying. 3 people stopped me and booked listing appointments with me while I was swimming laps. I was like, can you not see people? I'm like panting out of breath. I'd really like to finish what I'm doing. I was like, calm, like this is a good thing. That was about $40,000 worth of business that happened while I was swimming laps. There was absolutely nothing I did that day that made it happen. It's the fact that I integrated my life and business together. I did the things I wanted to do and I did them around the people that I wanted to be talking to, and it naturally created opportunity. So, Jennifer, what you're talking about, if you want to go make jellies, go do it and then tell everybody that you're working with that you sell real estate. Or maybe that becomes a passion project and all the people that you serve, like that's something that you get to give to them. Or
Oh,
maybe
definitely.
you decide to take it to the next level and you use your proceeds from your real estate business that's wildly profitable to invest in a larger scale operation where you brand it and build it and scale it out. Just saying, sky's the limit. So, um,
You're after talking yesterday, I reached out to 4 people. My announcement just came out today for real estate. So
how
I'm
cool.
at a great time because I can start integrating and announcing and showing, and I'm kind of like right on cue with this course, which is perfect for me.
Good.
But you made me think. I never thought that the people that I would know, even though I moved 5 years ago, because I was wondering, I came from Illinois and moved to Tennessee, and I was thinking all those people from Illinois that I was so close to. But I was thinking you were talking about the $40,000 referral fees and how you did this, and that never occurred to me until you did that. So even all my friends in Illinois, I'm meeting people on here that are from Illinois, and they're going to be great agents that I have now reference to because we served a class together, and I love that.
So good. So good. Thank you for sharing that.
Thank you.
Such a cool thing. There's so many of us that have moved across the country and we see real estate as a chance to start over. We retired from a career and this is our second run. We've decided that, like, a lot of us failed out of things. I failed out of many businesses. Now, I willingly failed out. I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. But like I had created this really cool path for myself in this way. I was like, yeah, I'm not willing to do what it's going to take to get to the next level. That's still failure. I walked away from it before I succeeded. Okay. Real estate was not even a backup plan. It was never a plan that I had. And yet it is such a cool thing to make a living making friends. And Jennifer, you're talking about making friends all over the country. Many of you have friends all over the country already. Go nurture those relationships. Love it. Morgan wants to restore mid-century modern homes and help clients do the same. You're going to need a lot of money from your real estate business in order to buy those mid-century moderns. Love it. And I can see it. I love your style and design and all those things that you do. It's going to be such a cool thing. The brand you build around. I mean, it's already a neat thing, and it's been really neat to see you put those puzzle pieces together and how you can bring your creative arts into your business sense. Erwin's on the road to financial freedom, working toward retirement, be able to break 200,000. You could do it, Erwin. It is work every day, or at least a weekly plan to make that happen. I think that for anybody here, should you choose to piece together a successful week that is followed by another successful week, that is followed by another successful week, and you don't stop the string of successes, and a successful week means that you got done what you needed to get done. Like, forget about the results for a minute, put your head down, do the work, and know that the results follow. Inputs create outputs. Hoping for the output and considering success only based upon that, it is really it's foolish. We've got to look at the things that we do on a regular basis. Point in saying that, Erwin, I think that the moment that you see those weeks string together and create regularity and consistency in your actions, you'll realize that 200,000 is a floor. Like, that's a new floor. That's a platform you can build on. I truly believe that anybody that takes a real estate business seriously, like, that's kind of the starting gates. 200,000 might be 20 to 30 transactions a year. If and I don't say that um, as like an aside. I truly believe if you can find a way to sell 2 homes a month, you can find a way to sell 3. And I think 3 is a point. If you can prove that you could put together a string of months with 3 closings, you can sell as many as you want. Because 3 closings a month that's enough to build a team around. And then you decide, do you want a big team, a small team? Do you want a team at all? Do you want to be leveraged with a transaction coordinator and an AI agent that does stuff in the background for you? Do you want to build a millionaire real estate agent business? You go find a way to sell 3 homes a month. You build whatever size business you want. And 200 grand is very realistic in that way. Very good. Thank you all for sharing so much. We're going to keep moving through. I have read every single thing that you've said in the chat. We don't have time to read every single, but encourage you guys to go and look what your companions are reading here. I just love it. If you did not download the participant guide, I've dropped it in the chat. It's really important to have today. There's some activities we're going to do together, and you're going to want that. I will read through these things. You can take notes, but you're going to need a lot of paper to take these notes, or you can download the participant guide, use that as a reference point, and take it from there. All right, anybody that can, I'm going to invite you to join me on camera and do this again. I think that kinesthetic learning is not any of our, like, the best. Most of us, by the way, we learn from sight. We learn from seeing things. That is naturally how we process things. Like, we hear, we touch, we experience. There are a lot of different ways to learn things, but we learn by seeing. That is the way our brains are wired. Like, our power of vision is in storing our memories and experiencing things is far more powerful. There are more neural pathways to our vision connected with our memory than anything else that we do. So I want you to see yourself do this, and I want you to see somebody else do this. Breakthrough 120. The goal is to have 10 real estate conversations 5 days a week. Yes, love it, Erwin. I see you. For 120 days, set you up for 9 agreements. So we'll do this. This is sign language. We do this in our household. Breakthrough 120 is 10 real estate conversations. It's like a thumbs up, and you kind of wiggle it a little bit. 5 days a week for 120 days. So it's a 1 that comes down and then a little bit off to the side, 2, 0. It's worth celebrating. For 120 days, set you up for 9. So it's almost like, okay, it's almost like clock it. My daughter's like, Dad, this is not clock it. I'm like, I know this is 9. She goes, yeah, but you're telling people, no. Okay. There's 9 client agreements. So Breakthrough 120 is 10 real estate conversations, 5 days a week for 120 days. creates 9 signed client agreements. You choose to do that, you make a regular behavior of that, you get through 4 months of that, you'll build a whole lifestyle and a big business. This is what the whole system looks like. We're still in session 1. This is database. Session 2 is lead follow-up. Session 3 is appointments, then open houses and social media. And the reason that we covered these 5, we're going to talk about in a little bit more depth today, because this is what most real estate businesses find success in. They find success in their database. They find that 80% of the work is in following up. They find that the best way they can deploy skills, like our negotiating skills, our people skills, our professional skills, shows up in appointments more than anything else. And the biggest lead generation aside from database is open houses and social media, meaning most of the real estate business these days, most transactions that agents find, they find them in the people they already know. They find them in people they meet at open houses, or they find them by attracting or connecting with people on social media. So that's why we cover these. There are many other ways to do business. And if you plan on doing business in a way that isn't database, open houses, or social media, there are still things to learn about best practices from these things that you can carry forward. All right, so we're talking about feeding our database. We feed it with leads. So the first idea is to build a container. That is our database. We talked about that yesterday. So start to build a spreadsheet, build it into a CRM, into some type of technology that keeps track of these relationships. And then your day-to-day mission is to feed your business with new people, new relationships. We're not even talking about communicating with people yet. But long-term, we got to be positioned to feed our database. There are going to be every year people that find their way out of our business. There are people that hire other agents. There are people that move out of our area. There are people that die. There are people that sell their home to Open Door or OfferPad or whoever. There are people that never move. There are people that we fall out of relationship with simply because we don't want to know them anymore, or we did something as a human that upset them. These things happen. It's natural. And so we've got to be positioned to always be feeding our business. Leads, by the way, are people that we haven't yet established a relationship with. And so you're looking to attract people before you've even established a relationship. We want to establish relationships, but I got to find new people if I'm going to form new relationships first. So this is about finding the people. So somebody tell me, what is lead generation? What do we mean by that? Because somebody here, it's a commonly thrown around term, but what's that mean? What does lead generation mean? Yeah, Devin, go for it.
Lead generation to me is activities that you do to pretty much attract the clients that you're looking for. So it's activities, whatever
Love
you're
it.
doing looking for business.
So good. Yeah, we talked about this before. It's activity, then skill, then strategy. I can have a strategy for lead generation, but really it's all about the activity that I take. So good. Anybody have other ideas? Yeah, Sarah says it's conversations. Yep, that's definitely a way that we can. So leads are new people that we add to our database through lead generation activities. We haven't established a relationship with them, which means that it's at the beginning, it's a one-way conversation. They've reached out to me on my website. That's a one-way conversation. They signed in on my website and they haven't responded to any of my messages yet, but I'm communicating with them. It's a one-way conversation. They followed me on Instagram, so I'm messaging with them, trying to get some kind of interaction. It's a one-way conversation. I'm inviting them into some kind of relationship. Your database has got to grow every day in order for your business to grow. The size of your business is the size of your database. So in your handout, it says, what is a lead? We talked about that. A lead is a new person. It's a one-way conversation. Lead generation is the process of identifying and engaging potential clients who may be interested in your services. So this is not somebody that's guaranteed to buy or sell. I want you to think even more expansively. This is anybody that could be a buyer or a seller that could meet with you about the services that you provide. That includes referrals, by the way. If you know people back in Illinois that are moving around, that somebody might be interested in the service that you would provide and matching them with a great agent there. So lead generation is the process of identifying and engaging those people. This, by the way, we talked about the 80-20 rule. 20% of your activities produce 80% of your results. This is the most important of your 20%. Nothing else works. There's no point in doing all the rest of the things in the top 20% of activities if I don't first generate leads. So you're going to find out more next week about follow-up. And follow-up is you will make more money in follow-up than you do in lead generation. It's a higher dollar per hour activity. But we cannot follow up with leads if we haven't generated them first. So we spend a lot of time generating leads, and then we follow through with follow-up appointments and all the rest. By the way, this entire series of Breakthrough 120 is all about feeding your database. We talked about this. So we'll recap on the lead generation model. We looked at this yesterday as database is your container. I reach out to leads or I attract leads. That's the active or the passive methods. We're going to break those down in a moment. We bring leads in. We nurture those relationships until somebody's ready to meet with us. We call that an appointment. And then after an appointment, they hire us through a buyer agreement or a listing agreement to work a transaction with them, and we bring them all the way to closing. So marketing and prospecting are the two halves of lead generation. The marketing is what many agents think of when they think of lead generation. Like we think of billboards, it's passive. The cool thing about marketing is I'm not putting in any active effort into it. It just happens. It brings people in. Now it costs a lot. Marketing is going to expend our capital, meaning our money, or it's going to expend our influence, the relationships that we already have, and converting those into some type of attraction. Like you might have influence with a local business and you can go and talk to them and say, hey, can I leave my business cards on the counter? That's marketing because it's very passive. Your business cards are there, but you're trading influence with that person. You cannot go and ask them for a favor every single day. At some point, you're going to spend all the influence you have with that person. Marketing is about long-term results. It is very rare that marketing is going to show up for right now results. Prospecting, on the other hand, can provide immediate results, but it consumes time. Time, by the way, it is bountiful. We all have it. In fact, we all have the exact same amount of time today. Not in our entire lives, but today is all I've got right now. I've got the same amount of time that you do every single day. We can choose to use that time. We exchange it. This is proactive. This is something you've got to decide to do. Every time you do it is a new decision to go back and do it. That's why lead generation as a habit is really impactful, because if I can retrain my brain to think this is who I am, this is what I do. We talked about this yesterday. I'm going to train myself to simply say hi to somebody, even though I wouldn't normally be outgoing. Well, now I'm creating evidence that I'm the kind of person that goes and creates conversations. It's proactive. We retrain ourselves. Then I don't have to make that decision over and over again. I decide that I'm the kind of person that lead generates everywhere I go. And then we start to experience that with ease. It's still proactive. It's still time intensive, but I can make the decision once or a few times and have long-term follow through on it. This is going to be your fastest action to benefit. So we're going to look at some of the examples here. Prospecting, here's some, like when we think of lead generation. So I know a lot of agents come in and think, well, I'm going to have a great social media presence. People are going to choose to work with me. Or I'm going to have a billboard. Or I'm going to have signs in yards. Or I'm going to have, videos online, all that stuff. And people come to us. When we think about doing the work of lead generation, often when you talk to agents in your office about do the lead generation, it's doing something very active. And I want you to raise your hand or drop it in the chat box if you agree with me. This is the uncomfortable stuff that I don't want to do. Y'all feel that way? These are the phone calls. I'm seeing a whole bunch of agreements. Now, I talked to a couple agents today that feel different. They're like, this is all I've known. So if I got to build business anyway, I'm going to go do it with this. I'm going to go door knock. I'm going to call everybody I know. Because, like, I don't know, the idea of spending money on something or building a brand, or like, that's uncomfortable. I can't take that back. But I can go up to somebody's door and see if it turns out to business. So not everybody's built the same, but for many people, the prospecting is pretty nerve-wracking. It's uncomfortable. And it's important that you address that, because until you understand that you're not comfortable with this, you're probably going to continue avoiding it. As long as you think, oh, it's something I could do if I decided to do it, but you're not deciding to do it, there's probably some kind of resistance that you need to acknowledge. Gary Keller talks about becoming comfortable with being uncomfortable. He said, fall in love with the boredom of mastery as well. It's kind of counterintuitive, but the thing is, like, if it's not fun or I don't like doing it, I may resist it entirely, which means I never get the benefit of it. So engaging with it at a really high level, this might be your breakthrough. So phone calls or face to face. This would be finding new people so listings without agency for sell by owners and expireds. Really, these are the people that are most likely to hire a real estate agent right now today. Like, of all the people in the world that I could guess are going to hire a real estate agent today, I could point out a for sale by owner or an expired home, and I could say my best guess is they're going to hire a real estate agent today, and you would be right. They have the highest likelihood to convert. Also, there's a lot of competition there. Circle prospecting, this was my favorite. If I could take one listing, I could turn it into more listings by circle prospecting. So I'd take a listing and I'd go talk to all the neighbors and invite them to open houses, ask them who else they know that's moving. They start watching everything that I was doing. And then when I sold the home, somebody else would call me, hey, if you sold theirs, can you sell mine too? That's how I built my neighborhood business. I documented it online, people watch, and it gave me credibility that when I moved into a new neighborhood, even though I didn't have a huge track record, the track record they could see was successful because I took one listing and I turned it into multiple. And then community outreach. This is the way we brought our business to scale. We showed up in our community. We just started working with people. We found out what they wanted, how they wanted to get together. We became community builders. We used a neighborhood Facebook page to connect people. We started creating interest groups, a poker club, a small business group. I funded a softball team. We did all sorts of social events and different things. A lot of them, in fact, pretty much none of them were our idea. It's things that people were already involved with. And figured, okay, if you're involved and you want more people, but you can't get people there, I know people. I can bring people to what you are passionate about. I can get involved with it also. But then our business got the goodwill. So think PTA. Getting involved in the school within your community can be a really great way to connect with people with similar passions. I saw somebody with their hand up a moment ago. I'm not sure who it was. Is there still a question on this?
It was me. It was me. It's Michelle again.
Okay.
But
Go
I
for it,
want to tell
Michelle.
people about the FISBOs. I did try those, and I
Yeah.
just call, and you just gotta put yourself out there.
Mhm.
And I called one, they didn't use me. It was $1 million listing. I said I'm gonna call anyway, and somebody actually answered the phone.
Good.
So you just put yourself out there. You just never know what might happen.
Just put yourself out there. I love that. And then I'll add to that, go follow up for 8 weeks. That's how you convert for sale by owners. If you want a listing in 2 months, go call for sale by owners in a TCPA compliant and friendly fashion. We're going to talk about TCPA here. I don't just say it as a tagline. I really believe it and operate by it. And you can follow up with them long term and you can take listings at will. Michelle, way to go. Be courageous, be bold, step out and do it. And it's funny, like 4 out of 5 for sale by owners hire a real estate agent. It might as well be you, but it won't be you unless you reach out to them in the first place. Marketing, radio, TV, newspaper, these are the expensive things. They take influencer money. They take a lot of money. Now, I will tell you, marketing doesn't work unless you give it time. Marketing takes time. And so mailers to a neighborhood, for instance, if you're not willing to send mailers every month for at least 6 months, don't send one, because one is not likely to produce any results whatsoever. But when you send them for 6 months, then you start to encounter, okay, maybe it'll work out. I had faith because I had watched other agents do it, that if I continue to invest in my neighborhood, that at some point I would build what they call a neighborhood farm. That means that people in my community would see me as a local expert and they would turn to us for real estate needs. And it worked. And do you want to venture a guess how long it took me to go from deciding and starting to work it to feeling like it actually was working and people were hiring us because we were local experts? Anybody want to venture a guess? At least guess to yourself. How long do you think it normally takes to become the local expert? So you're guessing to yourself. It was 3 years. From the time we started deciding, I did the work, and 3 years later, we saw that it actually worked. Now, I had some buyers and I had some listings in the meantime, but my conversion rate was no different than anywhere else I worked business. It took me 3 years for people to really turn around and say, oh, they're in it for the long haul. We see this guy everywhere. He's made this community better. I have friends because he brought us together. I see their signs on a regular basis. I get invited to their open houses on a regular basis. I received a mailer a couple of times. Mailers, by the way, and I'll say this real quick, marketing efforts stack, but we got to stack them with prospecting efforts. So if I show up in a physical way a lot, then if I have a remote way, a marketing piece that shows up, it amplifies my presence physically. And so because we were doing all these things in person, the first time I sent out a neighborhood mailer, I booked 2 listing appointments. That was awesome. The next neighborhood mailer I sent out, no listing appointments. The next one, no listing appointments. I look back and I realized it was not the mailer that created those listing appointments. Those are people that already were going to call me. That was the official notice. It was like their sign from above that they should call today. That's how they felt. Like they had been thinking about reaching out and they get this letter in the mail. They're like, oh my goodness, we've been thinking about reaching out. It's time. And they did. Now, only one of those 2 appointments became a listing, became a sale, but I'll take it. It paid for the mailers I had for those 6 months. My conversion rate was not very good. My conversion rate in everything else, by the way, prospecting was so much better. And then social media cost me nothing. We did a lot of social media. That's marketing, but we also prospected with it. We found ways to be in conversation with people. Prospecting and marketing, this is where it shows up. Demographic farming and geographic farming. I'll define that really loosely. Geographic farming is a neighborhood that you become the expert in, and your goal is to know everybody, and they all know who you are and that you're in real estate business. There are a lot of different ways to do it. Marketing and prospecting. I mean, I could go on, but the way that you do it basically is identify what are the 10 different places people are with their friends, in their house, at their door, in their mailbox, at a community event, at work, at the grocery store. Like you keep listing, right? And then you figure out, okay, what's one way I can show up physically in prospecting? And what's one way I can figure out how to show up in marketing? Like, how do I show up in their house? Can I have a magazine with my brand on it that they would want to keep on their coffee table? Great, I can do that. That's expensive. I can show up at their door by door knocking and saying, hey, I've got an open house down the street. I'd love for you to attend. So then we stack all those things. Demographic farming is I want to work with this kind of person, and so I'm going to do everything I can to solve their problems. Your database, your sphere of influence is a demographic. The thing they all have in common is they know you. So that's why it works so well. You can market to the people you already know, and you can prospect the people you already know, and they will introduce you to more people that they know. That's called referrals. That's a way to expand your business, both in your database and to gain buyers and sellers. But then you can also market to them. You send them invites to events. You invite them to open houses. You send them newsletters. You email them homeowner tips, all sorts of things. So demographic farming is also common interest. I worked with an agent who was passionate about exotic cars. So they made that their bread and butter. They went to meetups. There's a really cool thing called Cars and Cantina, like a huge parking lot here nearby. And there's all sorts of exotic cars from all over the place. People drive across the country to come to this car meet. And so this agent went there and met with people. It wasn't all about real estate. It was about those people and the common interests they had. And as they got to know each other, this agent was in real estate and they started to trust her and turn to her for these things. Jennifer?
I have a question.
Yeah.
When you sent out your postcards, how did you market them every month? Like, how did you pique their interest? Obviously, it isn't the same mailer, correct? So, bottom
No,
line is,
I politely I'm going to dodge that question a little bit because whatever I tell you isn't really going to matter because it's a matter of what matters to your community, your neighbors right now. I could tell you, but what I would tell you is probably going to be wrong for what's going to be effective for you. So what I would tell you instead is think about what are community events or what are needs or what are problems they all experience, or do you have recent listings, or do you have open houses, or do you have recent sales that you have? Do you have some kind of educational piece? Like there's all sorts of things you can do, but I don't do neighborhood mailers. Um, so the short of it is I wouldn't you don't really want to know what I did because I didn't find wild success in it. I found success in so many other things that I did that cost way less and were way more fun. Open house is a really good example. You can build a whole neighborhood farm around open houses. Can you hold open houses in the same community every single weekend and repeatedly invite everybody to it? The agent that inspired me to go build a neighborhood farm. I sold my house and bought a house in new build community so I could go, like for many reasons. I wanted to be in that community. It looked like a cool place. But I also saw it was an opportunity for years in the future to build a totally dominating neighborhood-based business. Well, the agent that was dominating, I thought, the neighborhood I was living in, I thought she was totally dominating. It turns out she sold fewer than a tenth of all the homes in there. And yet her signs were on it seemed every corner, every single weekend. There were open house signs. She was committed long term. Every weekend, she held open houses within her own neighborhood. Whatever she could, at any home that she could find, she would go and hold it open so that and everybody in the neighborhood thought that she was the absolute expert. She sold a lot of homes. She sold a lot of homes outside of the neighborhood because of it. I was like, this is great. It's going to be tough to compete with her. Let me go compete with that and go do it on my own. So open houses are a great way to show up, do videos and posts, go invite everybody in the community, all that stuff. You can invite people to seminars. In week 4, you're going to learn about open houses. So certainly stay tuned for that. Client appreciation events, all sorts of ways. By the way, this stack right here, a blended approach, is really what works best. So pick your demographic or pick your area, your geographic, and go find ways to prospect and find ways to market. Virtually every agent that finds scalable success finds ways to have a prospecting based, marketing enhanced business. So you start based on your human efforts because you have time and effort you can put forward, and you amplify that effort with some marketing on top of it. I invite people to an open house and I hold an open house and I put a sign out front, and that marketing enhances the fact that I'm standing inside. So then if I send a mailer to people inviting them to the open house, that further amplifies it. And if I posted to social media, hey, I'm holding this open house, it further amplifies it. Marketing without prospecting is very, very difficult. You can do it, but it's going to take a long time. Marketing-based prospecting enhanced means that you've marketed to so many people and you've become an absolute expert in lead generation funnels, meaning I attract all these people and my system drives down to the people most likely to be in business. And then instead of going out and finding people and marketing to them, I've marketed to them and then I point my prospecting efforts at the very few that are most likely to transact. So choose which way you're going to do it. I do know an agent that came in. He had a $300,000 business loan and he said, I'm going to give it a run for a year and a half. I'm going to spend as much as required to dominate. And he totally took over his town and became the number one agent in that year and a half. And it cost him 300 grand to do it. He made millions off that long term. You do what's right for you.
Seth,
Yep.
can you give an example of a prospecting based, marketing enhanced lead gen strategy other than open houses? That was a great one, but I feel like I know that one.
Yep. Well, you're going to hear, okay, so database, one, that's what we're talking about here. And then social media would be another one. And you'll hear about that in week 5. Just a quick overview with a database, I can call everybody I know 4 times a year. That'd be quarterly calls. This is the model. I call them, I send them a monthly newsletter, and then I invite them to an event once a year. And I send them text messages and stuff. So every time I reach out personally, that's a touch point. Every time I send them an invite, like I can put out on social media a blast to my client invite event, or I can send them a mailer, or more effectively, I can send them an email or a text message because that's going to cost me next to nothing. And every time I do that, that's a marketing piece. Now, when they come to that invite, I can give them a koozie with my brand on it that cost me 40 cents to have custom made. And now they've taken it home. And when they go to the pool with their friends, they slip that koozie over the can. Now I've got marketing they carry with them. I really like branded hats because that's something somebody will use in Texas. It gets quite sunny here in the summer and really hot. So people wear hats all over the place. So I've got, actually, you can see them on my shelf. I've got a whole bunch of hats that I have made with my brand on it. I found that to be effective. With softball, like I found a community of people. I built a database of people around a softball group. And so marketing was jerseys and it was all those things. Is that helpful, Mary? Okay. By the way, the social media, I think it's pretty simple. We go out and a lot of times it's marketing based, prospecting enhanced, but I can do it differently. I can go out and seek people, develop relationships with them, attract them to social media, and then be engaged with them long term. Actually, what I did at the beginning and saying, hey, come and follow me on Instagram, this is very much a prospecting based, teaching a class is a prospecting based business. And then it's enhanced by marketing because if we connect on socials, then you can see what I'm up to long term. And every time you see me on Instagram or Facebook or TikTok or LinkedIn or whatever, then every time we engage on that part, it's one to many. That's a marketing effort, but you're reminded of the relationship that we've got. All right. How do you hold open houses in the same neighborhood every week? Be with a broker that has a lot of listings. That's the only way I know how to do it. That's why I chose the very best. And I will tell you this, also go take listings. If there are no listings in your area, go take them. So for sale by owners, for instance, is a really good blend. I can go prospect for sale by owners or expired sellers. Hey, is your home still available for purchase? Well, yes, it is. Great. If I brought you a buyer, would you entertain an offer? Well, yes, I would. Can I hold an open house for you? Maybe you get a listing agreement signed for just that one. Talk to your broker because in different areas, legality can be different. But if you can go get a listing agreement signed for a weekend, you can create a listing for an open house, even if you're not going to hold that listing long term. Ryan, I don't mean to be to downplay it, but I want to tell you that I fully believe that it's simple enough that if I decide that I'm going to hold an open house in my area every single weekend, and I've already decided that, I'll find a bunch of different paths to make that happen. But it starts with the decision that I'm going to do it. If I only look at ways that I know to do it, and it becomes if I can find a home nearby, if I can find a listing that I can hold open, then I'll hold an open house. I'm not going to find all those paths. But if I decide in the future that the way I'm going to operate is that I will hold an open house, I will find a way to make it happen. I think willpower does show up in that way. And it's a really practical thing. This is not some airy-fairy thinking into existence, but you got to have intention in order to go find the mechanisms to get there. Yeah. Also, Erwin, I do agree with you. I think there is something supernatural about believing something can be. And it's so simple and scientific. It's micro decisions. Like if I'm looking forward to something, then when I have two different decisions, my subconscious draws me toward the one that takes me closer to whatever I intend to do, what I've already decided I'm going to do, what vision I see for the future. That's how autopilot works in an airplane, by the way. Like it doesn't work by holding the plane in a very straight path. It works because there's thousands of little tiny micro adjustments that when the plane starts to veer off course, it immediately course corrects. And that's what you choose as well. That's why we start with what do you want? Establishing your vision for the future. When we talk about database, who do you want to be in business with? How do you want to lead generate? Then everywhere you go, you start to think to yourself, man, maybe that's a person that's a buyer or a seller. And you find those little tiny courageous moments to go get in conversation where maybe 100 times it's not that buyer or seller, but it's because you had 100 conversations where it wasn't, that 101st is a $30,000 paycheck. Yeah, Monique, Henry Ford is accredited with saying this, although it turns out it wasn't actually him. But whether you believe you're right, but whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. If you think you cannot do it, you'll find all the reasons why you cannot. So this is what we see, and this is the reason why we recommend drawing your focus down and why we talk about database with your sphere of influence. These are the people close to you. That's why we talk about open houses, and that's why we talk about social media. By the way, you can choose to do open houses and to market them on social media and to invite the people that you already know. So you've picked one of these 3 pillars, but you're hitting all of them. Because you can't run in 3 directions at once, but you can figure out what's most important to you and find a way to touch on these other lead sources as well. Like I can find people in Montana that are thinking about moving to Texas because I've hosted open houses here and invited the people that I'm already connected with, and I posted on social media. So it's about being a local expert and being the person of choice for the people that I'm immediately surrounded by. But I'm using open houses to make it happen. And I'm amplifying it by social media, which introduced me to new opportunities as well. So really commonly, you'll find a way to have one activity that hits all 3 of these lead sources. Track where your business comes from. Don't be surprised if you find business from 10 different places. And don't be putting effort in 10 different places. Find what are your top 1, 2, or 3 and put your maximum effort there. Make those work and they'll naturally expand into other things. Be an expert in few, and people will be attracted to be in business with you. You'll hear agents say it over and over and over again. And it's because our top producers across the nation generate business from the people they already know, from open houses and from social media. They are the top lead gen sources. So thinking that you're going to be the outlier and go generate business in some other really creative way that nobody's ever thought about, maybe you're right. And also the statistics say you're probably wrong. There are still 78 people here, so maybe one of you will find that really creative way. And the statistics prove over and over and over again, you're probably going to find your next deal with the people you already know, or you're going to meet them at an open house, or they're going to find you on social media because you showed up big. It's that simple. So keep it simple and then go do things at a really high level. Focus, and it will expand naturally. All right, activity time. I want you to think about yesterday. Now, if you've got the workbook, you can do this. If you don't have the workbook, you could take a blank piece of paper and a pen, but I'm going to ask that you do this. Start in the morning, and we're going to take 2 to 3 minutes to do this and just start writing. What are all the things that you did? You woke up, and then what'd you do? So I have a 12-ounce glass of water, and then what do? Then I take a pre-workout. Then what do? Then I sit for 10 minutes and I do absolutely nothing but think. And then what do? Well, I go do my yoga routine. And then what do? I go make sure the kids are getting awake. And then what do? Then I go work out. And then what do? Then I go take a shower. Okay, start there, but then what are all the places you went? Because as of that and like getting ready and leaving the house, now I've not interacted with anybody but my family. We're going to talk about the energy plan at the end, and it's important that we understand all the things that we do to charge ourselves up. But then where do you go? Did you get breakfast somewhere? Did you go to the doctor's office? Think through. Some of you can see it on your calendar, so you can reference that. Some of you don't track these things normally, but start writing make a list, every single place that you went. Do not stop. This is every single person in the room. Make a list of every single place that you went in the past 24 hours. If you completed that list, go back through that list and look, okay, am I missing anything? Between this thing and this thing, did I go somewhere where I met somebody? Or did I go somewhere where I didn't meet anybody, but there were people there? Make a full list. And then go back through that list. Who did you interact with while you were there? Maybe you interacted with them, but you didn't actually speak with them. It's possible to do that. It's possible to have only a purely business transaction as well, and that's okay. This is not about feeling good or bad about what we did. This is a matter of tracking what we did. So tracking and reporting is a really core business skill. And a lot of us avoid it because we have emotions around, well, I didn't do what I could have done, or I recorded a zero here. And the problem is that's a human emotion thing. The emotions only exist if we put them in there. The emotions do not belong in tracking or reporting. Like we could bring them in afterward, but if the emotions that you have around what you did or what you didn't do are stopping you from tracking or reporting, that's exactly why you need to go do it. We measure what matters, and it matters where you go, and it matters who you speak with. All right, I'd like to hear just a couple of you by looking at what you did and who you interacted with. What did you learn about your past 24 hours? What are your takeaways? Devin.
All right, so I went to work. I'm a dual agent as well. So I went to my 9 to 5. I went to Chipotle, and I went to the dry cleaners, and I went to the gym. I come in contact with a lot of people every day. Um, what I learned is easy for me to have conversations with people as well. Like I don't have that problem. I'm always speaking, but I don't really bring up real estate at my 9 to 5. I just keep it like simple. So what I'm learning is I have conversations, but I don't have those conversations. But then again, a lot of people in this area know what I do, but I probably still should bring it up because not everybody knows. So
Okay. Can I thank you so much? Great takeaways. Let me ask a little bit deeper. Of all the things you did and all the places you went, what was the place that you interacted with the most people?
probably my 9 to 5. So I work for Coca-Cola as a merchandiser. So I'm in different stores. I go to Walmart, Target, Food Line. So I talk
Yep.
to a lot of the shoppers every day and other vendors like every day. So
Yep. Okay. I came from a retail background, so I spoke with our reps on a regular basis. My niece works for Pepsi and does a really similar thing.
okay,
Um, Incredible opportunity to meet people.
right.
If you changed, if you modified and you were intentional to have conversations about people's lives or to meet people and talk about them or to find a way to talk about real estate, what kind of impact do you think that would have in your 9 to 5? Let me
I
ask
love
that. What kind of negative impact would that have on your job?
a negative.
Hmm.
I don't really see a negative.
Okay. I didn't figure you would see much of a negative. A lot of us are like, well, I can't do that. And a lot of the a lot of the assumptions that we make are ridiculous, right? So I wanted to help. I didn't think that you had that assumption. Some of us we just don't. It doesn't occur to us until we look at it that we have an option to have real estate conversations with people when we go places. What would that do for your real estate business if you used your 9 to 5 to lead generate?
I think it would be big, and I would love to go to work every day too. I would look forward to going to work.
Yeah, right. It's
So
so cool. Then you're doing two things at once. And that's what dual career really looks like. And
right,
when you start to leave the idea of being a part-time agent, no, I'm a full-time agent because I'm a real estate agent no matter where I go. There's
right.
no kind of secret agent about me. Like you got your badge out, probably not literally. Most of us don't have any kind of real estate badge, but what would it look like if you did? What if people knew everywhere you went? Thank you for sharing that, Devin. I appreciate that.
Yeah, no problem.
Cass, I think a lot of people realize the same as you said there. You're not going enough places. And maybe you decide that your lifestyle is that you don't want to have to go a lot of places. Then what kind of conversations are you having with people? Like this is not a one size fits all thing. Understanding your normal cadence. If I want to be a homebody, or if I'm just accustomed to doing that, or maybe I have a reason to be in a specific place. Like for my world, I want the freedom of movement. I want to be able to travel. So it's really important that I can connect with people no matter where I am. Sometimes it's connecting with people face to face, and sometimes it's a matter of some kind of digital connection where I'm not relying on what place I am. So good. Mary says that she missed a lot of connection opportunities. And hey, thank you for sharing that. This is exactly why many of us don't track where we go, who we spoke with, what we did, because I'm not saying you felt bad about that, but a lot of us would see that and we're like, well, I could have, which means I should have, which means I feel bad that I didn't. There's no judgment that belongs. once we see that there are options, now we've got the power to choose. And it's not a matter of judging whether something is good or bad. It's that I choose to do this or I choose to not do this. I told you when I was swimming laps and people were booking listing appointments, I was flat out annoyed. I was like, can we talk any other time? Please? This is me time. Now, I'm not really going to complain about it, truthfully, but in that moment, I felt like I wanted to. We just got to know naturally. So thank you so much for sharing. I appreciate that. I want to read you a story from Scott Maloof. This guy's so cool. Here, I'll just read a story. Scott Maloof came into real estate industry with club promotion experience, so he knows the ins and outs of hosting great events. Though his team hosts large, impressive events, their micro events and the program he calls 50 First Dates are a staple of their lead generation. Every week, every member of his team goes out to one coffee, one lunch, and one dinner with people from their database. They have coffee with someone they are trying to get into a relationship with, lunch with a past client, and dinner with someone they determined to be a VIP for their business. During these dates, they focus on serving their guest by being their connector. This is such a cool concept that so many of you have an opportunity to do. If the guest mentions needing someone to do their landscaping or tutor their child, Scott and his team find someone to help. By connecting them and being of service, Scott and his team show the people in their database that they are here to help. Scott says that investing in people is the best investment you can make. Also, it generally costs nothing. Remember when I said marketing is influence or money? This is a way to spend influence in a positive way, where you get an immediate return on that investment. It's the goodwill return that you have in the person that you're referring their business to somebody, and it's also the goodwill that you generate in the person that you're helping solve a problem. Last year, his team made $1.4 million from this strategy. Remember, real estate is a relationship business. What better way to build relationships than have a meal and help someone out? Pretty cool. So we're going to spend a minute. We're actually going to spend about 10 with this next activity. And so I'm going to encourage you, again, if you don't have the workbook, this is your time to grab a pen and paper. Maybe you didn't the last time. I'm going to be serious about it because what you're building right now is significant. If you have the workbook with you, write furiously, do as much as you can. But here's what you're going to do. You're going to find what are all the different resources that are already in your world. Because you're doing two things at the same time. One is you find people with needs. How can you connect the right people to serve those needs already? You heard a story yesterday. We've got an agent who has a client that's selling their house in Chicago that's moving to Dallas. That client that's selling in Chicago, moving to Dallas is an x-ray tech, and they need a job when they get to Dallas. That's the only way they're going to qualify for a mortgage. And so this agent said, I'm going to help and be a connector. I'm going to help serve them. So they told all the agents around them. Now we have another agent that said, oh, we've got someone in need. Let me be the connector. I like this agent and want to see them do more business. I can help because I work in a hospital as well. So agent number 2 goes and decides to be the connector and just help solve somebody's problem, talks with an x-ray tech they know and says, hey, do you have any openings? That x-ray tech is like, well, yes, we do. Great. Another agent that I know has a client moving. He's like, oh, you're in real estate. Yes, I am. Great. Well, yes, we have a job for your friend's client, and I need to sell my house and buy another one. In real time, this was happening. So be a super connector and start to list all of the people you know. All right, I'm going to run through this entire list. Your dentist. Start writing these people down. You can go fill in their phone number and other contact details later on. Your children's dentist. Like I'm writing Cantrell Dentistry on both of those lines right there. Your doctor. Your spouse's or partner's doctor. Your children's doctor. Your dermatologist. Your landscaper. If I move really fast and you can't keep up, awesome. Come back and do this. I will once again post the workbook link in the chat. If you need to go print it and do this later, feel free. Maybe you get a third or maybe you get 1 out of 10 of these right now. Go and jog your brain later on. your household repair person, your painter, your plumber, your electrician, your pest control service, your carpet cleaner, your window cleaner, your AC and heat service person. I trust y'all are making a list of all of these things. By the way, you're also growing your database. Not only are you going to build goodwill from these people that you're in business with and help them expand their world, these service providers are also future clients. Like my dry cleaner as a company does not belong in my database. But if I realize that I can go and meet the manager whom I know, if I can meet the owner whom I recognize, but I don't know them, I can add those people to my database. And if they know that I'm referring their business, they are much more likely to refer mine. And when they have a reason to move around, they have a reason to hire me. Continuing number 16, your former teachers or coaches, your fraternity brothers, sorority sisters. Met with an agent this week, saw that as a huge opportunity. Had a networking meeting with sorority sisters and was like, oh my goodness, like I can just plug in. They want me to win already. This whole organization is a fan of helping to build each other's lives and businesses and futures. Your high school classmates. Maybe name one for now and go back and add more. Your exercise trainer, your children's teachers, your children's coaches, your children's friends' parents. Maybe you have an opportunity and people have been asking you to go sponsor a PTA lunch. You're like, I really don't have the $250 that it's going to require for me to show up and sponsor that lunch. Well, maybe it's not an expense to you. Maybe it's an investment for your business. So can you take 10% out of your next closing, set it aside and say, I'm going to reinvest 10% of my money that I made from that transaction. I'm going to reinvest it in my business. Go and show up in a big way. If you don't know your children's teachers, coaches, friends, parents, I bet if you go sponsor lunch for the school or to show up in some kind of significant way as a volunteer, you could probably find their names. You'd probably meet people. People from your children's sporting events. For the parents that are busy that have kids running around in every direction, if you're stuck at the soccer game anyway, what would it look like to actually make friendly with the other parents that are there? Actually, that's how I got my first listing. I knew I was going to be stuck at the soccer fields for picture day, and they tell you it's only going to take 20 minutes, and you know somehow it's going to take 3 hours, and it did. So I got prepared early, and I got 120 water bottles, and I attached my business card to them. I said, I'm going to be there for a while anyway. I might as well meet all the other parents. I handed the kid the water bottle. I said, the water's for you. The card's for mom or dad. By the way, I'm a local real estate agent. Do you know anybody that's looking to move? I'm looking to serve people at a really high level. And on like number 65 that I spoke with, the guy was like, oh my goodness, my wife was yelling at me on my way here today, asking why in the hell have you not hired a real estate agent yet? He's like, man, we got to sell our house and I don't know any realtors. So I feel like this is a God thing that we're talking right now. All right. It took me 65 times where people were like, thank you, and moved on with their day until one person was like, this is a God thing. Maybe it was. Your spouse's partners, close friends, your parents' close friends, your spouse's coworkers, your wedding guests, your car salesperson, your auto repair mechanic, your spouse's or partner's family members. I, at one point, took my wife's phone contacts because I'd already imported mine and cleaned up my database and added all of them. And then I realized she kept getting listing appointments from people that she knew that I didn't. Because she was an appraiser and she got her license for technicality purposes, but she wasn't actually working the business for many, many years. It was only about 3 years ago that she picked up and actually started taking clients. Actually, it wasn't even 3. It was 2, like 2 years. Anyhow, I digress. I took all of her contacts from her phone and I imported them and I started marketing to them as well. Sent them emails, automated text messages. It is incredible. It's like opportunities, referrals, deals just fell out of the sky. I was like, why did I never think about that? It was like 400 brand new people in my database overnight. It was not like it was 400 new people in my database overnight because I simply imported. your manicurist, your pedicurist, your esthetician, your hairstylist. I've been going to the same hairstylist, Viviana, for it's been like a year and a half. She knows exactly what I do. Now, I don't have her phone number, her email address. She can't be in my database. I'm being really transparent. I don't know that anybody operates at the highest level with all of these things. And I'm really intentional. I go back to the same stylist every single time. She knows, and it's more efficient and it's a better haircut because of that. But then also, like anybody in her world that's looking to move, I make it really known. Hey, when you have real estate needs, I'm the person. And we talk about real estate every single time. She brings it up. I don't. Your children's hairstylist, your family members' friends, a notary public, those people might become real estate agents. And if you work with KW, that could be profit share. Your extended family members, grandparents, cousins, nieces, nephews, all of your family should be in your database. Your optometrist, your massage therapist, your computer repair person, your TV or appliance service person, your life insurance agent. Do you think those people meet folks that are thinking about moving? Insurance agents do all the time. Insurance agents are some of the hardest working lead generators you will meet in any industry. They will find anybody. They will go at very long lengths. They come up with very creative ways to meet people. So you get an insurance agent in your corner, they could be a regular producer of referrals for you. Your homeowner's insurance agent, your auto insurance agent, your health insurance agent, your business attire salesperson, your tailor seamstress for alterations, your tax preparer, accountant, CPA. I've gone through many CPAs in the past. I make sure that Demery knows exactly who I am and that I'm a big fan of her business. I look for any opportunity I have to refer her additional business. And I make sure that she knows exactly where that business came from. I don't ask for favors. I'd like her to do a really good job for me. Also, my daughter right now is studying to be CPA. And so when she was looking for mentors in the field, it became really easy to set up a conference call, a connection is what I meant to say, and a mentorship relationship between our CPA, who is excellent, and my daughter, who needs great mentors in the field. Your bank or lender, your favorite bank teller. Don't lose me yet. Keep going. Y'all keep writing, keep thinking of people. This is real work. Like this is work you could go spend the next 3 weeks doing, but you're going to do it right now. Go spend time later on documenting phone numbers and email addresses and home address, all of those things. But this is work right now that in 5 years, you're going to look back and you're going to remember this moment when you wrote that name that produced 10 transactions over the next couple of years for you. Your stockbroker, your veterinarian, your pet sitter, your pet groomer, your lawyer. Caleb, my lawyer, like he does a very specific kind of law. And it's not a law that I need personally very often, but he has really good connections in his field. The attorney references that he sends me when I need to know something that is much more detailed than what I actually know, interpret a document. When I have clients that ask for attorneys, I have one attorney I turn to. Now, I've never hired him personally. I hope that I never have to hire him personally. And I know who I call when I need a lawyer, and I know exactly who he calls when he needs a real estate agent. We've made over $300,000 with our relationship with that family alone. In listings they've sent to us, I made 120 grand from referrals. I had no idea. They inherited a huge amount of land from family. They had 6 massive parcels out in oil country. And when they over time went to go sell all of those, I got referral fees on all of it. It deepened a relationship I had with another real estate agent, and it produced a ton of referral income. And I did no work except for nurture a relationship and hand them over to a really great agent that I knew that could do the job. And now they have really cool properties here in the Dallas area. luxury homes that nobody else has, and they're constantly in touch. Hey, we're thinking about buying this. Hey, we're thinking about selling this. Also, I send them attorney referrals on a regular basis. You know, lawyers make referral money like we make referral money. So if you have a lawyer friend, say, hey, who do you know? They're like, oh, I got you. Because if that attorney captures 300 grand, they might share a certain percentage or a certain finder's fee to that lawyer that referred them, just like real estate agents do. Your former coworkers. That's a great source of business, by the way. That is a really great source of business. You already have a business relationship in some way. It may be a totally unrelated business, but you can have a long list of coworkers. Your dietitian, your local printer. You might end up knowing them really well. I get my signs printed by Signs by Tomorrow. And when I call the store, Richie Mott picks up and he's like, hey, Seth, they do a lot of business. Now, I don't know if he's just really good with names or if he's got his database set up in such a way that he knows exactly who it is, but he remembers who I am. He remembers what kind of, and I keep coming back to him. Now, I've never done real estate with him, and he charges me way too much for signs, I feel, but I don't care because he gets them done on time. And when I got to pull a favor, I say, hey, this is an odd request, but I need to pick this sign up in 3 hours. I got you. Also, if you're local and you've asked me who should get your real estate yard signs made, I will invariably tell you go talk to Richie Mott at Signs by Tomorrow on Ohio Drive. Your next door neighbors, your neighbors across the street, your wedding officiant, your wedding photographer, your wedding coordinator, your tree trimmer. We just got a new one. I had been until yesterday referring a no-name company that did a good job and was known to do a good job. We were referred somebody personally, and I didn't recommend them until they came and took care of our yard. And I was like, I'm really grateful for this. They're local. It's a person. They run their own company. I want to support local entrepreneurs like me. If you can support local businesses, then you speak with credibility when you say support local business. You can make posts all day long about support local business, but if you don't have a reputation for sending business to local entrepreneurs, it doesn't land with credibility. People want to do business with authentic people, and you can choose to show up in an authentic way. Your school classmates, your dry cleaner, your mail carrier, your UPS FedEx delivery person. I keep a mailbox at the UPS store. It's a shipping address. We get large packages delivered there because we travel. I don't want to have to worry about them being at my door and porch pirates and all of that. I know at least by name, I know 5 people in the store, and they all know me. Now, I don't get to cut line anymore because they changed the way the whole thing works. Like, I don't want to cut people off, but like if I'm there to pick up mail, I'd like to I'd like to be handed my mail before all the people that are looking to ship out mail. I got to pay for stuff. I'm just in there for a quick stop. That's okay. I don't need the shortcut, but I'm so happy that they're watching out for me. And I know that they know we're in real estate because I've learned their names. Your travel companions, your theater companions, your golf buddies, your tennis partners. I know an agent that he generated, I don't want to get the number wrong. I know it was over 10 million in volume. It was a lot of money. He generated over $300,000 in real estate compensation in a single year because he plays pickleball. All the people, now that's not all his entire business. He runs a business of like $30 million in production, but over a third of it was from his pickleball that he played. He's like, I like playing pickleball, and so I'm going to do it a lot. And if I want an excuse for playing a lot of pickleball, I'm going to make sure I get business out of it as well. Your card playing friends, your hunting, fishing friends, your hobby friends, people from your religious congregation. We've got a guy named Ethan that I work with. When he decided when he went to church that he would talk to people about their life and real estate both, like overnight, there was so much trust built there. They knew his character, the way he showed up, and they wanted to support other people in their church. And he took listings left and right, buyers left and right. In fact, as soon as we're done with this class, I'll be reviewing 2 contracts that he's writing. The guy's been in business for like 4 months, and he has regular business now already because he simply made it made a practice of when he goes to church, he talks to people about real estate. And he truly cares about them. Like he's going to go to church anyway. So like this is what merging your life and business looks like. Your fantasy sports league members. Half of the people in my fantasy football league I've done real estate transactions with. We've been playing fantasy football for much longer than I've been in real estate. Like 17 years, I think, will be this year. Your favorite restaurant owner, favorite server, contacts in government or politics. You don't have to be political to know people in political positions. When you know people in positions of power, they know other people. And having that kind of goodwill and support from super connectors like that is really beneficial. Your college classmates, your minister or clergy, contacts from the country club, contacts from the fitness center. If you go to the gym anyway, are you making friends there? And no, it doesn't mean you have to go and stare people and make eye contact when you're lifting weights, but like, are you finding opportunities to be in conversation with people? Contacts from your local HOA. I do not recommend being on an HOA board. It is one of the most torturous things you'll ever decide to do should you choose to do it. And yet you can serve your HOA at a high level without serving in any kind of official capacity. I speak from experience. Your police or fire chief, contracts from trade shows, contacts from charity functions, contacts from Rotary, Kiwanis, Lions clubs, contacts from local Chamber of Commerce meetings. I'm seeing a lot of hand stopping moving. You are not done doing work. Like that is what this session is about. This session is not about class time, folks. This is about breakthrough moments. This might be the breakthrough moment for you. So I implore you, continue doing the work. This is you building your database right now. There is somebody on this list that is going to be responsible for a crazy amount of business. And it's because you wrote their name down on a piece of paper tonight or on an iPad or made a note on your phone. Contacts from local Chamber of Commerce meetings. Your housekeeper. Lupe has served us really well for a very long time. She has not yet sent me a real estate referral. She's been cleaning properties of ours for 13 years. She still hasn't sent us a referral. We'll keep working on it. Maybe I've not been intentional enough. Your water delivery service person, your previous neighbors, your military cohorts. I'm still not done talking, and I know you're not done writing. Military network and KW is powerful. It is strong. You may have been a military spouse. There are people like you all across this country that you share a culture with, that you share experiences with, and they'd like to work with somebody like you that understands them. Also, military people move around a lot. And so that's great relocation service. That's an awesome referral partnership with other agents as well. Your retired coworkers, the most enthusiastic person you know. Imagine them being your mouthpiece. They want you to win, and they're so enthusiastic. It's the most enthusiastic person you know. Like, think of Mary Mulligan and her bright glasses. Imagine having her telling everybody that you're the real estate agent that they should work with.
I'm the most enthusiastic person I know.
I know. I can tell. And that's so exciting. Do you have somebody else that is so excited because of the bright sunshine that you've brought into their life? And will they tell other people about it?
That's the $1,000,000 question.
Yeah. And if you don't, you're going to be looking for him now. The most influential person you know, the wealthiest person you know, an architect that you know, a baker you know, an entertainer you know, someone in human resources. They know a lot of people moving back and forth. They know a lot of people that now can qualify for a mortgage that didn't used to qualify for a mortgage, but they got a great job now. They know a lot of people that lost a job and now need to sell their house. And they're compassionate and they want to connect a great agent. People on your holiday card list. You could literally take your entire holiday card list, copy and paste into your database. You already have the info. People whose holiday card list you are on. Do you keep the Christmas cards from last year? Can you go and write down their names? They care enough about you. Do you care enough about them to keep track of them? I'm not saying you got to send them holiday cards. If it's up to me, there are no holiday cards going out. It's not that I don't like them or I don't care. It's that I'm doing other things and it's never a practice that I've built. But I am so touched when somebody sends me one. Your social network connections, someone you met on a plane. By the way, your social network connections, again, week 5, you're going to learn all about social media and how you can use it for real estate. But make a practice now of turning those followers and friends into database contacts. If you're in one-to-one conversation and in DMs with them, can you find a reason that you would send them an email or a text message? Someone you know who seems to know everyone. Call that a super connector. Someone you know who's highly involved in the community. Someone who sells Pampered Chef, Mary Kay, or something similar. Used to be Tupperware. People you see in your office building, your current or former landlords. Person you would call to fix a roof leak. Roofers are awesome. I have had so many referrals from roofers I know because they literally go door to door like we wish we had the courage to and ask people if they need help with their house. If that doesn't sound like a real estate agent, I don't know what is. Now, some people are like, actually, yeah, I'm about to sell my house. I should probably fix up my roof. Great. Who's the agent that you're working with? You could train these people to refer you, by the way. We teach people how to treat us. And so if you know that that's a person you want in your corner, go tell them, hey, do you have a go-to real estate agent? When you find people looking to move, who do you refer? Well, I don't have, actually, you do. It's me. I'd like to refer you. Can we have an agreement? Ask for it. Ask for the closing. It starts with people. People from industry or trade groups, people you've met at a party recently. All right, I wanted to stop talking through that list a very long time ago, but it's important enough that you do the work. This is what your business is built on. So the third step is communicate with your database. And there's more activities that we have involved with this. But here's the thing, it involves phone calls, and we're going to talk about these phone calls. We're actually going to make the phone calls. What I'm going to encourage you to do this evening, if you're on the East Coast, it may be a little bit late. I'm not going to encourage you to make a bunch of phone calls to people. If you are Central Mountain or Western time, it might be early enough still that you can still call people. Like 8 p.m., I generally don't open up and call people at 8 p.m. Now, if you've never called anybody in your database and you're so courageous and you want to do it tonight, go call your best friend, go call a loved one, go rekindle a relationship that you've been waiting. And you're barely hanging on with me in Zoom right now because you know that that is the most important phone call you can make. Go make it tonight if you want to make it tonight. And the important thing is you start to build a cadence for doing this because like all of this these are the things that we put into action. We build habits around. You can, however, find people on social media and start sending messages, ask questions. We're going to give you some of those conversation frameworks in a minute. In Breakthrough 120, the resources you'll find on Connect, some of them you'll find in the participant guide. It's got really great conversation frameworks. You can go and have those conversations, spark them. Okay, so touches are the instances of communication you have with people. I call them conversations because I want them to be conversation. I can reach out and I can touch somebody's life, but really what I'm looking for is a two-way conversation. Erwin, a text message can be great. It is never going to have the human impact of a voice-to-voice or a face-to-face connection. And if it's all I've got, or if I want to have a whole bunch of text messages so that I can later have a whole bunch of phone calls, or if I made a bunch of phone calls and I want to follow up with a text message, then that's great. The pinnacle of it is face-to-face, then voice-to-voice is great. Everything else can be done as well. Yeah, there's a lot of things that are done on WhatsApp. Text messages, WhatsApp, community groups like that, that's more marketing than it is prospecting. But if you're using social media DMs and you're asking questions, you might be able to open up conversations. But conversation is a two-way. Is the thing that I sent nurturing a relationship? If it's simply reminding them who I am and that I'm in real estate or that I exist, that's marketing. But if it's an opportunity to connect and engage and deepen a relationship, that's a touch. That's a nurture. That's a conversation. Keep this in mind. If something is useful or needed, it is relevant. And if it is relevant, it is valuable. So look for needs that people have. Look for ways in which you can enrich their life in any way. You will create value. Your value that you create in people's world isn't only in real estate, is in anything that they might need. You are probably, when Mary, you said it, you're the most enthusiastic person that you know. That means that for a whole lot of people, you're the most enthusiastic person that they know. People remember you for who you are to them. You might be the most resourceful person that they know. You might be the most well-connected person that they know. You might be the most educated or smartest or accomplished or fill in the blank person that they know. Have them remember that and go serve them in a unique way. This is important, and I want to read something verbatim. You're going to attend a lot of classes, and this is no hate on anybody that teaches these. A lot of people skim over this, and they kind of tongue-in-cheek tell you to respect TCPA. I want you to hear this with some seriousness behind it, because the consequences are very dire for not paying attention to the Do Not Call Registry and Telephone Consumer Protection Act. Your business will end, and you're going to have to find a totally new career, and you might go bankrupt if you do not respect this law. Okay? Like the fines and fees are tremendous. They're designed to put any business out of business. They're designed to be painful enough that anybody and everybody would avoid them. And that doesn't mean only real estate agents, that means any business. So in order for it to be painful enough that Nike would respect this law, that means that it's way more painful than I ever want to think about encountering as well. So I know of a real estate business in California that was fined $20 million because of their behaviors and the conversations that they had or the phone calls and text messages they had sent out. $20 million. That obviously put that brokerage under, but it also ruined the lives of the people that owned it because they were personally liable for what they had created. So I'll read this verbatim. Every day in class, we will make calls to people we know and are connected to. Before you make any calls or texts, please remember to honor the Telephone Consumer Protection Act, TCPA, and the do not call lists, including those of your market center and state. If you have any questions or concerns about this, please consult your market center or attorney to ensure compliance. Also, check any market center and state do not call lists. Refer to the guidelines in your participant guide for more details. These guidelines are for your protection as well as for the protection of your clients. Okay, with that said, I do not operate with any fear whatsoever of the TCPA because the way that I operate, it is not governed. I mean, it's governed by the TCPA, but the TCPA and the Do Not Call Registry are irrelevant to the way that I operate because I find ways to operate a business where I earn the right to have people in my database. It's a permission base, it's an opt-in database where then anybody I call within it, they've already given me permission, so I don't have to fear. I've got 43,000 people in my database. Every one of those is permissible for me to call. I've made sure of it. Now, there may be a point in my life where I need more than 43,000 people to call, but I can't even fathom being on the phone with 43,000 people. Okay? Whoever it is that you want to communicate with, find a way to be of value such that they'd want to be in communication with you. There are a lot of cheat codes. They're cheats, and they will get you in big trouble that you'll find in YouTube University. The gurus that you see on Instagram and TikTok, they've got all these different ways. Go call first of buy owners and expireds, and here's the 5 things you didn't think about that can get you a listing today. All of that. Y'all, it's bad advice. In fact, if the advice was so good, they'd probably be using it instead of recording a video telling you to go do it. So do what's tried and true. And do what's legal as well. That's the way you build a scalable business. Here's a great conversation framework, Ford. So if you're calling people that you know that you're in a relationship with, or if you want to be in a relationship with them, this is a really cool way to do it. Family, occupation, recreation, or dreams. So how's your family? Now, if you know that it's a rough family life, or if they have no family, skip this and go to the next one. How's work? Maybe they're a super business-minded person and they have a family, but they don't want to make small talk. But you want to find a way to connect with them. Hey, how's business? recreation? What are you doing for fun? Like, have you thought about retirement? Where are you going? Dreams, what are you looking forward to? I asked you at the beginning, what do you desire? I want there to be some kind of emotional connection between us during these class sessions. It may be months before we connect again, face to face in any kind of way. So how do I leave a lasting impact? I'm going to start with what's important to you. What are you looking forward to? What do you want? What do you desire? These are great, by the way. You don't have to have all of these four. It doesn't have to be in this order, but go write your own questions, the things that you, and then go practice these. You can practice these with anybody. You can meet the person stocking the meat counter at the local supermarket and have a forward conversation with them. Man, so neat and tidy. That's so fun. I mean, you spend a lot of time like working in coolers. What do you do for fun? Oh, well, I play pickleball. Oh, great. How cool. I play pickleball too. Like, find a way to spark conversation with anybody. Also, this is what will deepen the relationship with the people that you already know. Open-ended questions work way better than closed questions. Closed questions are really effective if you already know the answer or if you're okay with any way that it's answered. So often we'll ask a yes or a no question, and then we'll get the one that we don't want. And the conversation kind of comes to a screeching halt. So like if I ask my kids a yes or a no question, they know that I already know the answer. Or it's that I'm okay with either way that they answer. I'm curious. But if you're looking like trapping people into a yes or no question is not a great way. Asking broader questions. And by the way, these sound like what or how. They begin with what or how. They might begin with who, but most of them begin with what or how. Practice your what or how questions. You could say why, but you should know that why questions cause people to dig their heels in. Whatever the reason is that they are saying why, they're really standing in defense and opposed to something else. You're causing them to be defensive over something. It's a really effective thing. Why questions are very powerful and they're emotionally charged. What or how are expansive. They're inventive. We're not going to go through this, but I encourage you, go practice with Gemini, go practice with ChatGPT, or find a conversation practice partner. Right now, if you want a conversation practice partner from this room, go ahead and drop it in the chat. This is a great time to play matchmaker with somebody else, somebody that can help you sharpen your skills. Now, if you go to, I'm going to drop my link tree in this. If you go to coach.texasholden.com, you'll find a Gemini gem that I built called the Rookie Real Estate Assistant. You can go have conversations with it. You'll never get that sweaty feeling with an AI like you would talking to somebody on the phone, face to face, in person, in Zoom, something like that. So I recommend practicing with a real person so you can feel what it's going to feel like when you talk with somebody. Test yourself in that way. And then track what you do. It's so important to track. So if you're going to be having 10 conversations 5 days a week for 120 days in order to get 9 clients, you're going to have to track your 10 conversations at least 5 days a week. And you're going to have to track it over 120 days for a long time if you ever want to produce 9 clients with any kind of predictability. You can get 9 clients by accident, but if you want to know how you generated 9 clients, then go track every single time you knock down 1 out of the 10, each of the 5 days a week that you do it, and commit long term, make a habit out of it. The only way you get to 120 days is by stringing together a series of 2 days that becomes 3 days, that becomes 4 days, and gets further and further and further. There's all kinds of really cool AI prompts. These are in the participant guide. I'm going to drop that participant guide once more in the chat box in case you missed it before. You can also find this by logging into Command and clicking Connect. I will say there's some really cool stuff. Tune in tomorrow, and this is the tech session. It's going to go more into Command. It'll go more into AI. Here's what's really cool. You can use AI to boost your real estate business. Nowhere on this list does it say write marketing copy. AI, also in the guide, it says that AI will not replace real estate agents. I disagree with that. It's going to replace a whole lot of them. It must not replace you, though. It will replace the real estate agents who use AI to replace themselves. AI will replace you if you use AI to replace you. So if you choose to use HeyGen, which is it can take your photos and video and it can make photos and video with your voice and everything, like artificial intelligence, but it's you. It's like your own deep fake. If you go and produce those, great. You're training an AI model to literally replace you, at least in a marketing aspect. If you want to build trust with people, go show up with you as the real human being. But AI as a thought partner is so powerful, it will shortcut so much of what you're doing. There are things that would have taken me the next 3 years to do that I can do in like a week. Things that would have taken me another 2 or 3 weeks that I can sit down for a couple of hours and I can framework some stuff and shortcut. I can say, okay, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, this, and this. What am I not thinking of? And it can expand my mind to all these different options. I can dictate and say, okay, here's all my ideas, and I want to write a blog article on it. And like, I'm no good at organizing my thoughts into a logical framework that other people want to read, but I can speak for 10 minutes about all these crazy ideas that I have. And then instead of AI writing that blog for me, I can say, hey, give me a bullet pointed list, organize my thoughts. You're my writing partner. You're my executive assistant. Help me organize my thoughts in a logical way that I can go and write. And then it will produce a whole bulleted list. And then all you got to do is go write one sentence on that bullet, one sentence on that bullet, one sentence on that bullet. You can write individual sentences. It's your ideas after all. And you could produce really beautiful blog articles. There's a lot of evidence that marketing elements that are produced by AI, they work at first, but then it's about a 10-month mark as they live online in your social media channels and on your blog articles. At about 10 months, Google and all the other search engines realize that it was produced by AI. And I think that time is going to shrink. But at 10 months, it stops showing up in search results. So before you say, I know an agent that has produced a ton of blog articles or is producing all their social media content with AI, or I see agents doing listings with the description written by AI, that is a shortcut that's really dangerous. You are unquestionably harming the future of your real estate business. It might feel like a shortcut right now, and it is, but the future of your real estate business will be smaller because you chose to take a shortcut it should not be available to you. Like people want to know, they want to hear your words. And also, you know when somebody's written something with AI, and also other people know when you have. So these are really great things. Role play objections, time block productivity, client education, all these different things. Like you can have it go do a whole research. You don't have to know all these things, but then you can compile. You still get all the credit. AI can do all this research for you, and then you can provide it to the world. AI will only replace you if you use it to replace you. Please be compliant. By the way, TCPA prohibits AI voice calls unless you have received prior express written consent. You know how difficult it is to get a whole bunch of people to say, yes, here's written consent. You can send AI voice calls to me. I don't even know what that business model looks like. We could probably invent it, but it's pointless. Like go call people or build a business for the future. And when they sign into your database, maybe that's a way in which when you first capture their information, they're giving you permission for those things. There's great conversation, dialogue frameworks to reach out to people in your network to expand your world. Let them all know that you're in real estate. Here's some truths. Maintaining your database is an income generating activity, not an administrative burden. It is one of those slow down to speed up kind of things. Get a clean database so you can operate really efficiently. Have a place that you'll be really happy you dumped all of your knowledge of your relationships in. Incomplete or inaccurate data leads to lower conversion rates. No question. You can have a great conversation today where somebody told you their spouse's name, and then the next time you talk to them, you forgot, or you forgot that something. Like if they feel like you cared, and the next time you talk to them, it becomes really clear that you didn't care. It could be clear to them, even if it's not clear to you. Like you might have really cared, but maybe you didn't record the data right. Most people don't manage 300, 600 relationships. You got to operate as a business in a way to remember the human things that you know. Transferring a messy database from one system to another creates a bigger mess. So as you export from your iCloud contacts and you go to import to command, clean it up before you import it into command. If you take your Google contacts, you take your Outlook contact records, before you import them into your CRM, go through and clean it up some. Failing to keep in touch with your database from one system to another creates a bigger, I don't think that's written right. Failing to keep in touch, you will lose people in your database. They will find their way out of your business. Meaningful touches create meaningful relationship. So if you call and it's always about you, hey, I'm in a competition. Can you help me? I'm looking to generate 10 referrals by the end of the week. Who do you know that's looking at? That's an effective conversation. It will get you referrals. There's no question about that. And that's not building a relationship long term. Now, if it's your best friend, if it's people really close to you and you have a really great relationship anyway, you can extract some of that relationship credit you have by calling them and saying, hey, I need your help. Because that's a person that's going to help you no matter what. The rest of this about win the morning, win the day. We've been kind of talking about this over time, but I'm just going to encourage you, please be aware of how you charge yourself up. It's so important. Stack yourself with energy that's so deep that as you go and invest in other people, you still have more to spare. Be the inspiring person that you want somebody else to see. The person you've looked to that has inspired you, tomorrow you can choose to be that person for yourself. It's all going to be a string of successes, though. Find the one thing. There's a great book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. It talks about keystone habits. And this is finding one thing that you can do regularly and building a whole routine around that one thing. Maybe you can't figure out everything yet, but what's the one thing you can figure out? I'll tell you, for me, and I still feel, I still remember feeling this way. I thought the idea of yoga was so silly. It was for other people, like holding your body in weird poses, and like that's strange and it's embarrassing. And like, why would anybody tell anybody that they did? That's not for guys. That's not for me, for sure. And yet, as I got older, I was like, I want some mobility that I used to have. I need to reclaim that. And I got over myself, and I kept having people telling me, okay, so if you want to regain that mobility, this is probably something you should consider. And so I'm like, okay, let me do it for a week. And I realized that it became like the most pivotal habit I've ever developed. It became a keystone habit. There are so many things that I've stacked around that. It has created better nutrition habits. It's created, like, I just wanted to go and lift weights. That's it. But let me tell you, when I've got better stretching and mobility, I'm able to lift weights more often because I don't injure myself. My joints are healthier. I've got so much more energy. If I exhaust you because of the level of energy I have probably accomplished my mission, because I want you to go rest really well tonight. I want you to get up in the morning, charge yourself up, and go win the day. What are you doing in your first 2 or 3 hours to charge yourself up such that you can spend the next 2 or 3 hours investing in other people? If you can spend 6 hours intentionally, half of it you're stoking yourself and half of it you're pouring into other people, you will build whatever size business. You will have whatever kind of impact you want to have in this world. And it starts with putting your own mask on first. Make sure that you're taken care of, because burnout's a real thing. And we're closing with this whole idea. Lead generation is so critically important. It's the 5th thing on this list, but there's some kind of greater purpose that we all have, and we may be from different faith backgrounds, but there's some greater purpose. Whatever that is for you, connect with that daily. What is the greater version of you? What connects you with other people? Find ways to meditate, be in silence, and pray. Connect with your creator. Your physical energy, eat well and exercise every single day. Find a way to break a sweat every single day. I don't know what that looks like for you. Maybe that's like you'd like to get to 10,000 steps. And if I can make it to 4,000 steps today, I'm going to win. And I normally take the elevator, but today I'm going to take the stairs. Maybe it's that small thing. Exercise every single day. You'll find that you can stack it. Emotional energy. There are people in your life that you love on them. Remind yourself daily why you do this. I am so fortunate to hug on my girls every single morning. I've got 4 daughters. 2 of them are already out of the house. One of them gets married in August. The other one I hardly ever see because she's a she's like kind of a sophomore, kind of a junior in college, and she's already taking jobs with corporations that are recruiting her and all this stuff. And she's so busy, I rarely ever see her. And I've got a 12-year-old. She becomes a teenager in August, and I've got a 10-year-old, and like they're so precious to me. I am so fortunate to spend time with them. I'm so grateful that I get to be in business with my wife. I get to see her every day. We'd have conversations about building a big world together. Y'all do not take for granted the people that are close to you. You did this, you chose this journey of what kind of life you could build. And it's not just for you, it's what you can create for somebody else. Even if it's a selfish endeavor for you, imagine how much inspiration you're going to give to somebody else because of what you're creating. Mental energy, plan ahead, and calendar. I do believe that scheduling and calendaring are separate skills. You must develop them both. Scheduling is a matter of prioritizing, identifying what is most critical that you do each and every day and each and every week, understanding what you do first and then what you do next and then what you do next. We got to do that first and then we put it on our calendar. Time use of our calendar is also really critically important because I can prioritize all day long, but if I don't put it on my calendar, it's not going to exist. I'll find myself working by somebody else's calendar instead. Like they got a plan. If I don't exercise my plan, I'm going to become part of somebody else's plan instead. Also, time use without scheduling and planning ahead, like I'd never know if I'm doing the most effective things. I might know exactly what I'm doing, but is it with any kind of impact and intention? And then business energy. We do all of that, by the way. The purpose of business is to build a bigger and better life. Like the whole reason that we do these things is we can generate wealth. That wealth is a wealth of options. That might mean money to you, that might mean net worth, but the whole reason that we do it is so we can have additional choices that we didn't previously have, or we can provide choices to other people that they didn't previously have. So for all of this, fill yourself with energy and then go invest in other people. It's how you build business energy. And I will tell you, you choose to spend the next 120 days lead generating every day, making it part of your lifestyle. You will be so energized. You will see a different version of your business. You will string together successes. You're going to build a pipeline. And maybe for the first time ever, you're going to be able to look 90 to 120 days out in the future, and you're going to see the money that you've already made that just hasn't shown up yet. And you're going to breathe easy in a different way. You're going to have a chance to invest in yourself, in your business, in someone else, in a vacation. You're going to do something. You're going to experience something different in your life than you have been in the past. Or maybe for the first time, that big bright future you see 5 or 10 years out, you can finally see where right now connects with that because you see it showing up. It takes consistency. And the whole reason I'm here tonight, and I was here last night, and why we've got more instructors are going to be showing up over the next 4 weeks is because we believe in you. We believe that this works. Everybody you're going to hear from has experienced some kind of transformation from these systems and these models, and you're going to hear all these different stories. So glad that y'all chose to spend your evening with me. I know we're 16 minutes over and we lost part of the crowd. Thank you. Like, I love it so much that you stuck around. Something good came out of this. Go take action on it. I love you. Go love on somebody else. We'll be back. I won't be back for another session, but I'm so grateful I got to spend this time with you. Come back tomorrow for the tech implementation. Then next week is lead follow up. Thank you.
Thanks, Seth.
You're so welcome. I'll see y'all real soon.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night.